Good morning everybody and welcome to today's literacy lesson. So everyone, today we're still going to be thinking about our goal this week, and our task this week is to write our superhero and supervillain story, isn't it? So we're thinking really carefully about that. But in order to write a fantastic story, it does just take some time and planning, doesn't it? So yesterday we were building our story, and today what we're going to be doing is thinking of some wonderful words that we want to use in our story that tomorrow we're going to put into phrases and sentences in another plan, ready to write this all on Thursday, okay? So today we're mainly going to be looking at adjectives, we're going to be looking at verbs, and we're going to be thinking about adverbs. And I've actually made it into a really fun task for you all, just to get it a bit exciting and something a bit different to get you ready, thinking about different adjectives, verbs and adverbs that you can use in your writing. But before we do that, we're going to just go through this to recap and remind ourselves what each of those mean and some examples. All right, so starting with adjectives. What can you remember about adjectives? What is an adjective? When do we use adjectives? Why do we use adjectives? Have a little think. Say it to somebody if you've got them there. Okay, so adjectives we know are describing words. They describe the thing, whatever that thing may be, okay? And we use adjectives when we're trying to describe something, when we're trying to give more information about something. If, for example, if you can't remember the name of something, you actually use adjectives. So say I'm trying to remember something and I say it's usually white and it looks fluffy and it's in the sky, and they can be big, they can be small, and things can go through them. You, from my description, would guess that that was a cloud that I was talking about. And a lot of those words that I used just there were adjectives. So they describe it. We use adjectives because it makes what we're saying or talking about a lot more interesting. And also, especially in story writing, it helps people to build a picture in their mind. Now, we talk about this a lot. You know what I mean when I say that. I could say to you, the man ran to the shops. Okay, when I say that sentence to you, you're going to have a picture in your mind of a man that you've created in your mind running to a shop. Okay, but because I haven't given you any adjectives, you just have whatever you have in your mind. All of us will probably be thinking of a different thing in our mind. If I say to you, the cheerful tall man who was wearing blue glasses and green shoes was running very quickly to the pink sweet shop. Just from me saying that sentence and adding adjectives, you now have a completely different idea of what that man running to the shop looks like, and we're probably all thinking of the same thing, okay? So in story writing, it really helps you, the reader, when I read your work, to build that picture in my head, and that's what makes reading so enjoyable. We feel like we're in the story and we can see it, okay? So, adjectives and verbs. Now, we're going to think a little bit now about, I'm going to give you some examples of adjectives, but we're also, to describe this guy, but we're also going to be thinking about verbs. So while you have a second, can you guys think about verbs? What are verbs? We've learned about them before. I'm just going to see who can remember. Okay, so verbs are doing words. Verb is a word that we use to say what somebody is doing. So if it's really hard because I can't show you, but if I'm hopping, then you would say Miss Shannon is hopping. If I was walking, which you can't see me, but I'm showing you that I'm walking, then you would say Miss Shannon is walking, okay? It's anything that I'm doing. If I'm reading, then you say Miss Shannon's reading. At the minute I'm doing something to you, I am talking. Okay, I'm talking to you. So the thing that I am doing is talking. So that is the verb because that describes the doing, what I'm doing. Okay, So we're going to look here. So some adjectives that I thought for this guy was, I thought he looked grumpy. I would say he's green. He's growling. He's stripy. He's scary. And he's mean. And then some words that I could say. I could say that I was chased, ran, hurried. I hurried away. He's frightening. Oh, sorry guys, I still had more to do here. Okay, so we have verbs and adjectives here, but as you can probably tell, I've scrambled them around and I've put different ones in different colours in the hope that you guys, just a mini task while we're doing this, in the hope that you guys would be able to, you know, say some of them in a sentence. And I've actually tricked you because I've put one in a colour, in a different colour. So I've put one in red or green that shouldn't be in red or green. And there is a verb in the adjectives, and I wonder if anyone can spot it. I'll give you a minute or so to go through and think. So think, a verb is a doing word, so something that you're doing, and an adjective describes a thing. So see if there's one there. Okay, I'm going to tell you it is growling. We put growling in with the adjectives, but growling it, he's going, "Argh." That is something he is doing. He's not talking, he's not laughing, he's growling. So that one there was just a little trick. I wonder if anyone got it before I told you. But yes, so adjectives and some verbs just around this little guy. So obviously you're going to come up with much more fantastic ones because superheroes and supervillains do way more exciting things. Okay, so let's make some excellent sentences. Now, you do have a choice. I will leave space at the top of your worksheet to do this, but you really don't have to. You can just work out these sentences in your head, or you can just say them aloud if you'd rather. If you've got paper, you can write it on the paper. We don't need to see these. This is just for you guys to practice a little bit here, okay? So look carefully at the picture and please answer these questions. What is in the picture? What is in the picture? I just want you to think about what word you would call what's in the picture. It's not a word that I've already said today, it's another word, but you know it. It would be a person, a place, or a thing. What would that be? If you said noun, you're correct. What are they doing? So for this, it's doing, so you're going to need a doing word, which would be a verb. Well done if you got that. What are they doing? So you're going to need a verb to explain what they are doing. And where are they? What would that be? It's a person, a place, or a thing. Where they are would be a place. Therefore, you would use a noun for that. Now, can you think of a fantastic sentence? I would even task you. So you can just say this aloud. So I might say, so what's in the picture? The brown ants are crawling around their house in the mud. Okay? And I actually added an adjective there because I described the ants as being brown. So I tried to use them all. And crawling was my verb. Oh. Yeah, we did that. I forgot that I added that bit. Verbs. More about verbs. What is he doing? What is the man doing? Can you say it? Use a verb to say what he's doing. Verbs are doing words. They tell us what someone or something is doing. He is cycling. Okay? He is cycling to get up that hill. He is sweating. Oh, he does look tired, doesn't he? It looks like a very steep hill. I think I'd struggle. He's exercising. And he is struggling. Can you write a sentence about this picture? Again, you don't have to write it. Write it if you want to, but you could say it aloud or say it in your head, okay? You don't have to write this down if you don't want to. We're just practicing going through using them. So can you think of a sentence about this picture? Okay, using your verbs. Well done. Good job. So look at these pictures. What is happening? Write the verbs down. What's happening here? What are they doing? There should be some snow there. They are skiing. Ooh, what's going on here? The worm is reading. What are these people doing? They are walking. What's the man doing? He is painting. What's he doing? He is laughing. What's the lady doing? She is running. What's the lady doing? She is sleeping. Oh, and what's he doing? He's dancing. We love dancing, don't we? Okay, guys, next bit, adverbs. Now, adverbs are something that we add to say how they are doing the verb. So if you were to say, I'd drawn a beautiful picture of myself and I went and got all the paints out, you might say, Miss Shannon is painting. Painting is your verb because that's what I'm doing. Miss Shannon is painting carefully. And carefully is the adverb because it tells you how I'm doing the verb. Okay? So, for example, he looks to me like he is shouting and perhaps he's loud. So he's shouting loudly. Then here we have he is stretching. So he's got to protect his muscles, so he's stretching carefully. Might be that he's doing it slowly. So it might be he is stretching slowly. So any words to describe how the verb is taking place, that's your adverb. Okay, guys? So on to your exciting task. So this is what I'm going to leave for you today. If you want to write your sentences that I said earlier, you can just write them here, along up here. And then your task today is, I have written you the alphabet here from A to Z. And your goal is to gather words that are adjectives, verbs and adverbs. And I want the first letter of the word, pop it there. Whether it's an adjective that you think of, whether it's a verb or an adverb, whichever one you think of, I want you to write here. So thinking of your superhero story, that these are the adjectives, verbs and adverbs that you could use. So for F, I'm going to put flying, because that is a verb that I think will be great in a superhero story. Then I'm going to think of an adjective. I'm going to G, and I'm going to write glowing as an adjective. I actually saw lots of you writing glowing last week when you were designing your supervillains. Glowing was a great word. So there's an adjective that I've added, and an adverb that I'm going to add is I'm going to Q and I'm going to say quickly. Okay? Because you might be flying quickly through the air, or you could be running quickly. Oh, running. So let's find R. So when you think about these ideas, it might take you a little bit, but that's okay because you're thinking about all these different words. So any word that you think of, work out if it's an adjective, a verb or an adverb, and then find the letter that it begins with and add it there. And you, my friends, will end up with a lovely bank there of lots of adjectives, adverbs and verbs that you can use in your writing. Okay, once you write them down here, you're going to remember them and you're going to be able to use them in your writing and in your planning tomorrow. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that. Look forward to seeing all the words that I probably wouldn't think of that you guys are going to think up. I'm really excited to see them. So enjoy.